Have you ever made plans and then felt completely thrown off when things didn't go exactly the way you pictured? Like maybe you were all set to go grocery shopping, but the store was out of one ingredient that you needed, and suddenly your whole meal or even the rest of your day felt ruined. Or maybe somebody cancels plans last minute, and instead of feeling relieved for some quiet time, you spiral into frustration, maybe even tears. My name is Sara Kelly. I'm an ADHD coach for late diagnosed women who look like they're holding it together, but inside they're overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and tired of trying to control everything just to stay afloat. Today, we're going to talk about rigid thinking, because this one sneaks up on a lot of ADHD women, and it's not about being stubborn. It's about how your brain handles change. One client I worked with always felt anxious on weekends. Her plan was to rest and catch up on chores, but the minute someone suggested doing something spontaneous, she'd panic or snap. She once told me, "I want to be more go with the flow, but even tiny changes feel huge in my body." And the thing is, this isn't about being inflexible on purpose. It's about executive functions. Specifically, cognitive flexibility, the part of your brain that helps you shift between ideas, adjust when things change, and recover when things go off track. When cognitive flexibility is limited, your brain clings to plans like a lifeboat. Any change can feel like chaos, even small ones. You might find yourself getting stuck in all or nothing thinking, ruminating when things go wrong, or replaying conversations or decisions that you've made over and over, or even needing to do things a certain way or to not do them at all. So why is the ADHD brain more prone to rigid thinking? Part of it comes down to underdeveloped executive functions, and these include but are not limited to cognitive flexibility, working memory, and inhibitory control. When these areas are weaker, it becomes harder to pause, consider alternatives, or pivot in the moment. Another layer is sensory and emotional sensitivity. Many ADHDers feel things more intensely and take longer to regulate when something unexpected happens. A small disruption can feel like a massive derailment. And then there's a pressure to perform. For late diagnosed women, especially, there's often a history of needing to prove yourself, to do things the right way, just to be taken seriously. So deviation from the plan doesn't just feel inconvenient, it can feel unsafe. I had another client who struggled anytime her workday didn't go exactly as scheduled. If a meeting got moved or a coworker asked for help, it felt like everything else had to stop. Through coaching, we focused on growing her self-awareness and building in buffer zones, both in her schedule as well as in her mindset. And over time, she started catching herself in those all-or-nothing thought patterns. She'd go from "my whole day is ruined" to "okay, this wasn't expected, but what is still possible?" That shift didn't just make her more productive, it made her feel more grounded. That's the power of building cognitive flexibility, and it starts with self-awareness. If this is hitting home and you want to feel more adaptable without feeling like you're falling apart inside, there's a link below to book a free consult with me. So what exactly helps with rigid thinking? Expect the unexpected. Build flex spaces into your plan. Leave gaps in your schedule. Create a backup option before you need it. For example, if the store is out of chicken, you already know stir fry with tofu is plan B. This helps your brain practice flexibility in low stakes ways. It can also reduce the panic that comes with surprise because you've already normalized alternatives. Another approach, practice planning your day with the phrase, "this is a plan unless ... This primes your brain to be open to change without feeling like it's failing. Use scripts to soothe the panic. When something changes, say to yourself, "this is different, not dangerous," or "it's okay to pivot, I can handle this." Simple self-talk helps regulate your nervous system. It gives your emotional brain time to catch up with your logical brain. If you're really feeling activated, try grounding techniques too, like naming 5 things that you can see or taking 10 deep breaths. Zoom out and ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow, next week, in 6 months from now? Usually it won't. Most rigid reactions are about feeling out of control, not the actual outcome. When you zoom out, you can break the spell of urgency. You can shift from "this has to be perfect right now" to "this is just a bump and I can adjust." Grow your self-awareness. Start noticing when you fall into rigid thinking. Is it during certain times of the day, around specific people? Are you tired or maybe overstimulated? Track those moments. Even just naming the pattern is powerful. You can say, oh, this is my brain trying to protect me with a rigid rule. That creates space between the reaction and the response. You can also journal small examples of when you adjusted, even if it didn't go perfectly. This helps you see patterns in progress, not just problems. Look for the middle ground in all or nothing thinking is one of the biggest roadblocks to flexibility. Finding the middle ground in all or nothing thinking is one of the biggest roadblocks to flexibility. Try finding the middle option in every scenario. If your plan to cook dinner falls through, what's in between of ordering takeout and going hungry? Maybe it's toast and eggs for dinner or leftovers. You can even do this as a practice. Write down a common situation that throws you off and then brainstorm 3 ways that you could respond. One that's ideal, one that's worst case, and one realistic middle ground. The more you practice finding middle ground, the more flexible your thinking becomes. And this is because you teach your brain that plan B doesn't mean failure, it means you're adaptable. Celebrate flexibility when it happens. Every time you roll with a change, even just a little one, acknowledge it. Tell yourself, look at me handling that. This reinforces the idea that you can be flexible and it builds confidence in your ability to bounce back. You can even create a wins journal just for these moments. In my program, ADHD Mindset Mastery, we call this a small wins victory log. Work on transitions. A lot of rigidity comes from feeling rushed or unprepared. Build in transitions between tasks or events. Even 5 minutes to regroup can help your brain shift without stress. Use physical cues to signal the change. Change the lighting. Stand up and stretch. Change music or location. These small shifts can help you reset and move forward with more ease. Create emotional safety. Rigidity is often a protection mechanism. Your brain is trying to keep you safe by sticking to what it knows. If you want to grow your flexibility, create environments where mistakes are okay and perfection is not the goal. That might look like talking to yourself gently, setting realistic expectations, allowing for good enough outcomes. This makes it easier to try new things, even if they don't go as planned. If you'd like support in learning how to shift out of rigidity without losing your footing, I'd love to help you. You can book a free call using the link below. It's an opportunity for us to figure out what's going on underneath the surface and what kind of support might actually help. Because you don't need to force yourself to be chill, but you can feel more steady even when life throws you curveballs. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope that you have a ton of takeaways. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. And thank you so much. I will see you next week in the next one.